Hey everyone, and welcome back to GamesPerSecond. I'm Gio, here to review Ultrakill for the PC. For the record, it's still in early access, so any issues or missing features are more than likely planned to be added or fixed soon enough. Also, as of the time of this recording, only the Prelude and Act 1 are out, with Act 2 and Act 3 planned for sometime in the future. For starters, let me just get this out there. This game is awesome. Seriously. It is everything I love about old school shooters like Doom and Quake turned up to 11. Sometimes it can feel a bit overwhelming, but I'll get into that and how they've actually improved that and added some things in a recent patch later in this video. You may also notice some aim assist in this video, and that's because I'm playing with an Xbox controller, not mouse and keyboard, despite what some in-game prompts may lead you to believe. This game is all about using the tools at your disposal and always moving. Seriously, never ever stop moving. Even the game's earliest enemies will close the distance very quickly. Don't worry though, you move quickly and you can grind across the floor, you can dash, floor slam, wall jump, all kinds of things. The movement options at your disposal really make this game more enjoyable than it has any right to be. It's fast, but it's fair. Each weapon has multiple alternate fires, so use all of them to dispose of different enemies as effectively as possible. Even the pistol stays relevant even after you've unlocked more weapons because of its alternate fire options. Using all of your movement options as well as each of your weapons is absolutely the key to success here. Stop moving and the enemies close the distance quickly. Use only one weapon and the alternate fire cooldown will slow you down and minimize your damage output. So definitely don't do that. This game really looks like it could fit right in the 1990s and be up there with similar games like Quake 2. However, it feels much more modern. I've already mentioned the movement options and weapons, but another thing to mention is the way you regenerate health. Most games from the 90s used health packs. It was fine and it worked. Some more modern shooters like Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal introduced the Glory Kill mechanic, in which you press a button when an enemy is low enough on health to essentially play a small cutscene and regain your health. While this was an improvement, as it always guaranteed there was a way to regenerate health mid-combat, it stops the action, if even for a few seconds. In Ultrakill, it takes this idea of regenerating health via enemies and makes it even more seamless, and does not stop the flow of combat at all. Rather than play a Glory Kill cutscene, the only way to regain health in Ultrakill is by covering yourself in the blood of your enemies. This sounded kind of gimmicky at first to me, but when I actually played Ultrakill, it felt amazing. Let me explain. For starters, as I mentioned, this gives the player a way to regain health at all times, without stopping for a cutscene like in Doom Eternal, which helps the game continue much more seamlessly than games like Doom Eternal. In addition to this, blood obviously doesn't splatter all over the room, although it is quite gory, but rather it splatters close to the enemy itself. What this does is create a flow of combat where it pays to have a more aggressive in-your-face playstyle. Rather than stay back and snipe enemies from afar, grabbing the shotgun and getting in the face of enemies kills them faster and regenerates your health at the same time. Genius. It is this mechanic, in my opinion, that becomes the crux of Ultrakill's hook. This playstyle really kept me coming back and wanting more. It's so in-your-face, aggressive, fast-paced, and tense. Another mechanic I want to mention is the scoring system. You've probably noticed the score rising and falling on the top right corner of the screen. This game has a scoring system in combat that isn't too far from the Devil May Cry series, which is intentional. In fact, given this game's 90s FPS aesthetic and the DMC style scoring system, if you type in devilmayquake.com into your browser, it redirects you to this game's Steam page. So, the developers and publisher are very self-aware of what people think of this game, and it's very much intentionally this way. At the end of each mission, you are scored on your time, amount of kills, and style. So kill everybody, kill them fast, and kill them with style, and you'll be well on your way to victory. Something to note. As I've already mentioned, this game is still in early access, but this publisher, New Blood Interactive, has had multiple other games like Dusk and Medieval start in early access and actually get finished, so I very much have faith in this game getting done. With that in mind, things are still evolving and being added. For example, a month or two ago, I may have only recommended this game to more dedicated fans of first-person shooters. This was because of multiple reasons. For starters, the aim assist used to be an on-off switch. The problem with that is that on was far too much, even for a controller, and off was, well, nothing. This made it significantly disadvantageous to play this game with a controller. In addition to that, only the middle two of the planned 6 difficulties were out. However, in a recent patch, the aim assist is now a slider, allowing you to set the aim assist to whatever you feel is comfortable for you. This made playing with a controller far more enjoyable, as I could now set it to something that helped bridge that gap between controller and mouse and keyboard without being ridiculously overpowered. In addition to that, the 2 easier difficulties were also added. So now, if you are a more casual gamer and use a controller, I can now recommend this game much more than I may have previously. With that in mind, if you do use a mouse and keyboard and want more of a challenge, that challenge is very much still there. Just use your mouse and keyboard as normal, turn off aim assist, click the highest difficulty currently available, and go nuts. Nothing has been taken away, only added. So regardless of your playstyle, this game is going to be enjoyable for a wide selection of gamers. Also, the 2 hardest difficulties that are planned aren't even out yet. So anyone waiting for even more of a challenge will get exactly what they want in a patch sometime in the future. As for the audio and soundtrack, while the game didn't jump out at me like some of Ultrakill's contemporaries, such as the soundtracks done by Andrew Hulshult in New Blood Interactive Zone, Dusk and Medieval, it slowly grew on me and always serves its purpose and fits whatever's happening in-game. Do I listen to it in my spare time the way I do the aforementioned Dusk soundtrack? Maybe not. Is it a disappointing soundtrack? Not in the slightest. It still serves its purpose, enhancing those fast-paced, tense moments, helping provide an atmosphere that separates it from similar games. It is also a very different style and may not just be to my personal preference. But even so, as I mentioned, it's still a good soundtrack and fits well with what it sets out to do. With all of that said, the sound effects of the weapons, enemies, and everything else all sound solid and fit the game's aesthetic nicely. As for some technical stuff, I'll quickly put this game's minimum and recommended settings on screen as per the Steam page. As someone with a mid-range gaming laptop, I can say it runs very well and I haven't noticed any slowdowns or issues. If you have a gaming PC, I wouldn't worry much at all. However, if you aren't sure of your technical specs, or whether or not this game is even for you, Ultrakill does have a free demo on Steam right now, so definitely check that out before buying. Do keep in mind, it may not have the aim assist, difficulty settings, or other quality of life updates that the full game has, so if those aspects are missing from the demo, don't be alarmed, as I can personally say I used them in the full game. So, to quickly wrap things up, this game is great, and since it's in early access and has a very active developer and publisher, it will only get better from here. It's fast, it's in your face, it's tense, but wow is it a lot of fun. Particularly after some quality of life updates that benefited even a more casual gamer like me. Don't be fooled though, you can still crank things up and give yourself quite a challenge if you're up to it. If you're unsure of your PC or playstyle, download the demo completely free right now, keeping in mind it may not have some of the quality of life updates that the full game has. That's it for this review of Ultrakill. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, consider subscribing for more content, and ring that notification bell. See you in the next video.